So today is the first update of the year, and this is actually combined with the December update because I didn't do one since I was posting all my 2025 drama stuff. And honestly, I think a lot of you will be shocked by how little dramas I am watching. It really feels like I didn't do much in the past January. I already missed 1 week of posting because I was out at sectionals for tennis, which I won, which was fun. And you can see a little bit more about that side of me if you follow my TikTok or Instagram. That's a little bit more lifestyle stuff. I will probably be eventually getting vlogs up on this channel sometime this year. I just don't know how to get started at the moment, but I know I say this really often that you probably shouldn't believe me at this point, but I really plan on getting a lot more stuff out. I want to go back to my roots and do like intro videos because that's like the whole reason I started a channel in the first place was to make like introduction to certain things videos. So I have an introduction to Thai BLs coming out soon. And yeah, so I actually barely have caught up on every single drama that I was supposed to for this video. And I'm actually filming this ahead of time to get it out earlier. So I think there will be a little bit less episodes that I've watched, and I might even be missing some dramas. So yes, let me know what I'm missing, especially on the Chinese drama side because I've not been watching any of those either. And that's enough rambling, so let's go ahead and get started on the dropped. So I'm gonna just briefly go over the dramas that I started and plan on dropping or have dropped. First one is Surely Tomorrow. I just had no feeling for this drama. I love Park Seo-joon. I thought he looked good with a female lead, but their story didn't really pull me, and then I kept reading reviews to determine whether or not to continue it, and a lot of negative reviews of the drama have deterred me. I only got to episode 2, and yeah, I don't know, it wasn't an established dynamic that I was particularly fond of. There's nothing that really stood out, and I was just like, I don't know, I was just in a mood and I dropped it, which is strange because I feel like during the time this came out, I wasn't watching anything else, but yeah, I couldn't continue it. For C-dramas, I started Glory, the one with Neo, and honestly, I wasn't very interested in this either. There's no particular reason. I feel like this had decent reviews, but I was 2 episodes in and I was kind of like, I don't really want to continue this. I am not very invested in where the plot was 2 episodes in. I started Love Between Lines. I only watched episode 1, and this was really, really popular, and I really want to like it because I do like the actress. But I'm just not into this whole game reality thing. It feels like it's like one of the, if it reminds me of kind of one of those like manga-esque ones, like Extraordinary You, where they like walk into a comic book or something like that. Like that's the vibes of it. But I don't know, I can't take the game aspect of it seriously. Maybe I should just like persevere. Yeah, all these dramas have really slow starts, and I'm just not in the mood to like get through it, you know? So yeah, I think that's part of the issue. Maybe I will try to repick them up, but at the moment I'm like not interested. Actually, I watched 1 episode of Melody of Secrets, and you will hear this, but I love Force Book, which is shocking because I like none of their projects aside from Perfect Timeliners, where they were only like a third of the drama. I just like them together. I think they're a cute couple. I like their dynamics, but their actual like dramas, like in terms of pacing, in terms of plot, like I'm just not a fan. And so I tried Melody of Secrets, and I just don't care about the mystery going on, but I love Force Book, so I'm like skimming through it. And so that is all for my drops. And now to start with my currently watching, starting with K-dramas, and this is the chunk of it. So first up, I'm going to talk about Love Me, which I'm currently watching, and I'm on episode 8 of 12, and I currently have this rated an 8 out of 10. And this is such an interesting drama to me because I love So Hyun Jin, and this is like a romance drama, but this completely like went under everyone's radars. It's a remake of a Swedish series of the same name, which also explains why the vibe of this K-drama is very, very different from other K-dramas. It's very different, I would say, and in some ways it's refreshing because it's new, but at the same time, I feel like it doesn't have the charm of like a K-drama that is like what I watch K-dramas for because they have their own like distinct qualities, you know? This is definitely one of those like slower burn. I don't even know if slower burn is the right word, but it's a very calming kind of drama. It's like a lot deeper and serious, and I feel like people that are into those kind of like small town vibes because that's kind of what it's giving to me. It's like small town healing vibes. If you're into that, I feel like you'd really like this drama. I feel like for the quality, I'm surprised it's not being talked about more. For me, this isn't, I think, a genre that I generally enjoy. Actually, at the time that I'm filming this, and even by the time this video comes out, this drama is already done. And so yeah, I'm gonna finish the rest of it. It's not bad, but it's not something I'm particularly, it's not, it doesn't have like tropes or any aspects to it that I like particularly love, because especially a lot of the emotions in this uh, revolving around grief, I haven't really experienced. So that's why I don't think I'm as touched. I'm not as like fond of this drama as some people are, because I like to resonate with characters. And yeah, but overall, I think it's a pretty well shot drama, and the dialogue is pretty hard hitting. It just isn't exactly my personal taste of what I like to watch in dramas. And next up, I have Spring Fever, and I'm currently on episode 6 of 12, and I have this rated a 7.5 out of 10. And I've mentioned before, but I am a fan of Lee Joo-bin. I think Lee Joo-bin and An Bo-hyun have pretty good chemistry. I would say there's something just missing about this. I think for me personally, the balance between the comedic and the seriousness, it doesn't really work for me. It feels too, I feel like the two sides contrast more than complement each other. It has its funny moments, but overall, I think I'm left kind of confused how things are developing, and it's in a way that I'm just kind of like, is this really the logical progression? Like, especially from her feelings of like, she doesn't seem like she really likes him. She seems determined to be depressed, but then she also has these like bright sides of her. I feel like they aren't developing her character as well as it could be. I kind of get what they're going for, but it feels like something's just missing in terms of development. Like a couple of scenes here and there that could really make me believe that, like, oh, she's going through something. I'm really rooting for her as a character. I just don't really see the depth to it, even though it has some deep moments, because like she has this like dark past, secret history, or whatever's going on. I feel like this is something I should be really invested in, but I just don't feel much for it right now. I feel like as it goes on, we'll see if it will become more interesting, especially because it seems like they're about to enter their dating era, which is also confusing because when did all these emotions happen? I don't even know if they really had time to get to know each other, really. Next, I have No Tale to Tell, and I'm on episode 4 of 12, and I currently have this rated at an 8 out of 10. This is a highly anticipated drama for me because I love Kim Hae-yoon. I think she and Solomon look good together. The first 2 episodes, I'm not gonna lie, was a little bit disappointing for me. I just kind of expected it was gonna start with like a bang, but this drama seems to be the kind of drama that picks up over time. I am curious to how their dynamic will play out. I thought I was gonna love this drama a lot more. It's just kind of like, I think we need some depth right now. I feel like it's all very lighthearted, and we just kind of need those emotional moments to really get me to resonate with her character, because I love Hae-yoon, but her character's kind of like not giving that much to me. And Solomon too, I feel like we're just waiting to see how they react to their situations, and yeah, there's nothing too different about this drama, and it hasn't really used any tropes that I'm very fond of just yet. So this is kind of a drama to keep an eye out for. This could increase in ratings, but so far, yeah, I'm shockingly not invested in this either, but I'm gonna continue watching this. I hope it picks up a little bit more. You know, we get a lot more like funny moments, some touching moments, more chemistry. I'm curious to see where the plot is going. Next up, I have Positively Yours, and I'm currently on episode 3 of 12, and I have this rated at an 8.5. Out of all these dramas, I'm shocked that this one did manage to be the highest, but this one is just giving classic K-drama rom-com vibes. I just think it's been a while since I've seen a male lead play this kind of generic CEO, good-looking character, and Choi Jin-hyuk is just a fine man, you know? And so I feel like that is really where all this bonus points is getting from, because I've seen him before for a really long time. He's like my early K-drama era, and obviously seeing him again is such a delight. I think Oh Yun-so's character is adorable. I think their chemistry works. This is like what I wanted when I wanted like a marriage contract trope. Like, even though he's a CEO, he's like not mean whatsoever. And I mean, it's just pulling from a lot of very generic old K-drama tropes. I'm not gonna lie, it's not super original, but it's just done well. And I honestly needed this amongst everything else that's airing that hasn't really got me like kicking my feet, giggling, you know? This is just doing what the original charm of like K-drama watching was for me when I first started, and like why I like K-dramas so much. So yeah, I'm enjoying this. I'm waiting to see how their feelings will develop. And I will have to add that the whole alcohol plotline in this seems to be a lot more well done than other things. I watched Soo-young's drinking drama. What was that called? But either way, I've seen a couple dramas that have alcohol in the plot line. But in this one, I like how it's actually just not that she's an alcoholic, but she's just like passionate about making alcohols. And you see that she like puts in time, effort, and like research into developing new products because she's just, I just think it's been handled a lot better than other alcoholic plot lines where it's just like, oh, I really, really like to drink. But she seems like an actual career smart woman that like has this passion, this hobby, and she like works hard for it. And so there's some sort of career serious aspect to this addiction of hers, which I appreciate, instead of just this whole like, oh, we drink every day and blah 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 blah. And I don't know if that's explained right, but yeah, I think it's just handled a little bit better than other alcoholic-esque dramas where they like make alcohol or something like that. And lastly, for airing K-dramas that I finally caught up to, I have Undercover Miss Hong, and I am on episode 3 as of today, out of 12, and I have this rated at an 8 out of 10. And this is a little bit higher than you might expect because it is romance, but the main appeal, honestly, is just watching Park Shin-hye. I honestly love the directing and the coloring of this. It's just, I mean, I think a good, like, throwback kind of drama where they're like in the past, but everything is just so colorful and bold. Park Shin-hye is playing this like quirky, super smart, super driven character. It's like a little bit of the slapstick humor, but I think it works for me a little bit better because I've just been a big fan of Park Shin-hye. We have Ko Kyung-pyo in this too, and I think there is obviously like a romance plot line, but I honestly think just watching Park Shin-hye's like facial expressions and her comedic acting has just been pretty decent in this drama, so which is why I'm liking it so much. There's this also theme of like girlhood, you know, because it's like her and the girls, and this whole joke about her being like old but playing this like younger kid. I think these are all just like fun dynamics. And so yeah, I'm curious to see how the ex-boyfriend situation comes in, and maybe we'll amp up the romance because that's what I would love this for. And yeah, so far it's been pretty fun, shockingly enough. I just hope it doesn't like veer off too much politics and like power corruption side. I hope it stays off a little bit and stays like a little bit more romantic comedy vibes. And yeah. And next up, I have Chinese dramas. And funnily enough, none of them are still airing right now. These are just the 2 that I'm currently watching. I'm on episode 17 on Shine On Me, and I currently have this rated a 7 out of 10. I made a TikTok post about this that kind of blew up. And basically, this drama is so confusing. Like, there's a second male lead who honestly seems so insignificant in her life, but has become a super big part of like who she is and the way she acts, and like impacted her life. And I'm like, dude, you guys like never really had anything. And so it's like they made a big deal of the situation that seemed super minor to me. And honestly, I find the relationship between the female lead and the male lead a little bit confusing, and I don't understand it as much because a boss employee relationship usually looks one way, but because she's just as rich as he is and they have like similar family backgrounds or whatever, and so they're like similar kind of people, but as a normal person, I'm just kind of like, I would never treat my boss like that. And I think it's a really strange thing to have a relationship like this with your boss, but maybe things are different because they're so rich and they're the same kind of people basically. Yeah, overall, I'm left very confused still. I heard it gets better. I might finish this just to finish it, but I was not invested in this as the rest of the world was. And honestly, if you're going to have a drama that's going to be confusing until episode 22, which is what I heard from episode 22, everything gets cleared up. 22 episodes of being confused is a little strange. In my opinion, I've heard a lot of novel readers are like, oh, it'll make sense eventually. And I'm like, hey, I feel like I should understand this drama without having to read the novel first, but you know, whatever. But yeah, this has performed really, really well. So I will probably finish it, especially considering how far I am. I think they have a cute dynamic. But yeah, it's not really that eventful for me right now in drama world right now. Yeah. And next I have Love of the Divine Tree, and I'm on episode 29. I currently have this rated a 7. I really wanted to finish this drama before my 2025 C-dramas all ranked, because Love of the Divine Tree was a lot of people's top drama of the year. And for me, I don't get why. Again, it's like I can't seem to believe how anyone seems to fall in love these days, but I feel like his entire obsession with her, him falling in love with her, was just so quick. Like they had very little time together as like master and student when he falls in love with her, and then he spends obviously all this time raising her again or whatever it is, having her as master and student. I really feel like they didn't play enough with that dynamic of switching from master and student to master. I think we could have had a lot more fun with that trope, but he was just so serious and trying to stay away from her at all times and like hiding her behind the scenes, and I was just like, bro, this is like the most frustrating thing ever. I got so far in this drama that I want to finish it, being the completionist I am. But yeah, unfortunately, this was not going to make it very high onto my best C dramas anyways. But yeah, I'm currently watching this, and yeah, this and Shine On Me are really struggling to get through. They might be my chore drama once I start doing chores around the house and I need something to just watch while I'm doing something else. Shockingly enough, I am only watching one airing BL, and that's because I finished so many. So when I talk about my completed, I have so many BLs that I've completed. But yeah, I'm watching Dare You to Death. I'm currently on episode 4 of the 12, I believe, that are coming out, and I have this rated at a 6.5 out of 10. I'm not interested in the plotline. I think I can establish that I am not big on murder mysteries. I'm just not really interested. I don't really care about the mystery. I feel like Flower of Evil was probably the best one, the murder mystery aspect of it, but that's because you were also questioning the main lead's character and morals the entire time, whereas this one, there's like some bad guy roaming amok, and I just don't really care. I am a Jungduk fan. I will talk about that too. They are one of my top favorite pairings in the BL world, and that is why I'm watching this. I don't care about the plot otherwise. I'm not gonna lie. Sorry. That's it for me. So now we're on to completed dramas, and first up I have Way Back Love, which I completed back in December, and I rated this a 7 out of 10. And I watched this because a lot of people in my Discord server said that this was like their drama of the year, or at least ranked it really, really high. And for me, I think the duration did not allow me to get very emotionally invested. I would say the plotline again kind of led to me not being invested either. I like to watch dramas because I relate to characters, I resonate with them, and I couldn't really get that attached to a character. Was, yeah, honestly, it felt like a really well shot drama, but I just wasn't very interested. Sometimes there is no rhyme or reason to that, and Way Back Love was one of those dramas for me. It felt deep, but not in an aspect that I felt like I emotionally resonated and connected with. Yeah, I also didn't really feel their chemistry, which is like one bit for me, but I don't really think it's about the chemistry. It's about like who they are individually as people and their grief. But yeah, I mean, I didn't hate it. I just didn't really feel much for it. So unfortunately, only a 7 out of 10 for me. And next up, I have Can This Love Be Translated, and I rated this the 8.5 out of 10. And so this was also the drama that I had to really catch up on. Netflix, you need to stop dropping dramas all at once. I really honestly hate it. Because also, it's like I need to know what everyone else is talking about in terms of this drama, but all episodes dropped, so it was like, ugh, I have to catch up to everything in order to like read reviews, otherwise there's spoilers. And overall, I think they had great chemistry. It was a good concept. I like the idea of like understanding each other's languages, and it's not just a language barrier that sometimes blocks you. It's just like your understandings and the way you communicate, how words can come off in certain ways. I thought the entire idea behind that was really good. I thought it wasn't executed in the best way, if I'm being honest. I think her mental health struggle as well, I don't think that was resolved very well, in my opinion. At some point, I'm just kind of like, why is she not seeing a doctor about this? Because I understand if these things are going to happen. I feel like Dear Harry did a better job with this, where she was seeing some sort of psychiatrist or something, but like she obviously just, it happens, these episodes happen. And so he's kind of accompanying her through these episodes, which is also nice because he's just there for her like throughout it all. And taking care of her. But I was also just like, why don't you take her to the doctor? Like, maybe she should get prescribed some medicine or something, or like, you know, something. Why are you not concerned about her medically? Like, I just feel like the whole medical aspect of that, I was like, why are we just letting her roam about like this? Because it could be kind of dangerous. So yeah, and then yeah, their whole like romantic relationship development. This drama is just like built upon misunderstandings, which isn't the most pleasant plotline, if I'm going to be honest. But also another one of the things that I liked about this drama was that it was very clear why both main characters fell in love with the other, like what she saw attractive about him as a man, what he saw attractive about her as a woman. Sometimes I feel like a lot of dramas don't make that aspect as believable, but they were just both such lovable characters. But I feel like part of the drama was them struggling with their feelings. It was just a little bit unbelievable. I'm sorry, like they have a trope at the end, and I was just kind of like, did you need to throw in this plot line for the last like episode? And I'm just kind of like, eh. It definitely had its good moments, and I think it definitely had potential to be a 10 out of 10, but it ultimately like missed the mark with certain areas that I think could have been improved upon. And honestly, yeah, I would have thought this drama would have done better to be rolling. I'm really not a big fan of the Netflix drop dramas all at once style. It's just not. So like I was just like really chugging my way through this drama. Also by the end, by the time it got to like episode 9, I was like losing my interest in this drama. I think up to episode 6, it gets better up until episode 6, and then afterwards I'm kind of like, where's this drama going? I think it was a little too long too. I think it could have done with being only 10 episodes, honestly even shorter, but yeah, it was a highly anticipated drama. I'm glad it didn't like completely be terrible because I was worried about that. I know some Netflix dramas that are highly anticipated just come crashing down in ruins and whatever, but this one may not have lived up to the hype, but it was pretty good. It was still pretty good. So we're going next onto the BL category because I have no completed Chinese dramas. And actually within the past 2 months, I finished Head to Head and Me and Thee, but I talked about them in my 2025 BL ranking, so those aren't going to be mentioned here. For completed BLs, first up I have MuTeLuv High by My Luck, and I rated this a 7 out of 10. And I love Seeking. I enjoyed Hi My Boo. I enjoyed them in Head to Head a lot. I really like this couple, and people have said MuTeLuv is like one of their top BLs of this year, and I was like, what am I missing? It's only 4 episodes, and I was kind of like, okay, like I can finish this. It's not that hard. It's a very easy binge, and I still binged it, and I was still like, I don't really know what everyone loves about this drama. Like, there's nothing in particular that keeps me invested. Like, sure, they're cute. Is their dynamic really that different? It's overall just like cute, but not even in a like lot of fluff kind of way. I don't know. I mean, I like Seeking. There's nothing like wrong with this drama, but there's nothing like super amazing about it. So yeah, I mean, I much preferred Head to Head and Only Boo to this. It was short and like good. This wasn't the drama I really wanted to know what's happening next. I was just like, oh, this is cute. And they're adorable, but nothing is really happening. I mean, I'm glad I watched it for Seeking because I love them and I want to support most of their works. So I'm glad it was short because otherwise I wouldn't have finished this drama because it was kind of boring for me. And so Me and Thee really reignited my love for Pon Puin. I loved them in Fish Upon the Sky. It was one of my first BLs back when I wasn't really as invested in the BL industry. I just kind of watched a BL here and there if it was like a plotline I really kind of enjoyed. So Fish Upon the Sky was a really cute plotline that I liked. So I ended up watching We Are For Them, and I ended up rating this a 7 out of 10. And my beef with this drama is that this drama is too long. And I will say the main plotline of them getting into an argument and one deciding to agree to become a slave. I feel like this logic also didn't make sense because Pon ruined Puin's painting, but Puin agreed to become a slave for Pon because he kicked him. I was like, but he ruined the painting in the first place, and I feel like the painting is the bigger issue, but whatever. So that main plotline, I was like, it was like weird. And overall, I think if I watched this drama while it was airing, I would have enjoyed it a lot more. It was like the same vibes as Perfect 10-liners, and I liked Perfect 10-liners. We Are was just so long to watch as a binge because I was watching it for Pon Puin and I was watching for their romantic development. I'm like, dude, this is taking so long. It would have been okay if I were watching it, at a more relaxed pace, but I was like really just trying to finish this drama for them. And yeah, I think this would have been a fun drama to watch on air. If I didn't binge it, I also probably would have forgotten about this drama because there's nothing super exciting. I think all Boom was in Perfect 10-liners, and I didn't actually care about them in that, but actually I like them a lot more in We Are. So it's always interesting seeing characters be in different parts and liking them from one role and like not caring for them as much in another role. So yeah, it's overall just relaxing school drama. I wouldn't say there's anything particularly good about it. It's just overall, I think if it were shortened, I would have enjoyed this a lot more. Like, it really didn't need as many episodes as it did, and I was just like, dude, I really want to finish this drama for them. And yeah, Pond and Puin are absolutely adorable. I would just rewatch the clips of them from this, and I'm glad I watched it just to have it. To just, like, I feel like also because, like, a lot of BLs connect, so watching this work we get the references from another work because this is referenced in Me and Thee. And so now I know that reference, and just, yeah, this, I feel like, just had to add this into my collection of completed shows because it's gonna eventually be relevant, I feel like. And again, because of my Ponpuin obsession, I started Never Let Me Go, and I rated this a 7 out of 10 as well. I will say that the production quality of this was a lot better than most dramas. I honestly want this to be like an amazing 10 out of 10 drama because the vibe wise it was so good, but there's just a lot of unrealistic aspects to the show that I was just like, what in the world is going on? Their whole runaway arc was really weird. The whole like separation arc was really weird. At the same time, you have to remember they're high schoolers, so it was like logic just completely went out the window with this drama. And I was like, if you were just a little bit more logical, the acting, the vibes, the chemistry in this is like one of the best. Like I really wanted to like Never Let Me Go. It had a lot of potential, and I was just, as I kept watching, I was like, what the in the world is going on? Especially as it's supposed to be a serious drama. When you have plot holes, it becomes a lot more noticeable. If it's just like a light, fluffy rom-com, if you have plot holes, it's like, okay, you can ignore them because it's just not supposed to be serious anyways. This was meant to be a serious drama with like so many strange, illogical things happening that I was like, okay, I can't do this. Especially like the end half. The end half was the harder part to watch. The beginning half in the development was really good, the acting, everything. But the end half, I was kind of like, what is going on? But because of this drama, I now know the Nung Tiao reference. So the one and the only, because yeah, Me and V had me on a chokehold. That is why I watched 2 whole dramas for Ponpuin, and I think now I've watched every Ponpuin work. Okay, and my very last mention is going to be 10 Dance, and I rate this an 8.5 out of 10. I usually don't talk about movies here because I don't watch any, but I feel like 10 Dance was just so big in the BL community that I just like had to watch it. I will say this had fire chemistry. It was, in a way, it reminded me of Heated Rivalry in the way it was very sensual, and I feel like the whole competitive dancing background made it like a super sexy backdrop. They had insane chemistry. I think their dynamic was absolutely great. It was well shot. The whole 10 dance, I think this is what I've seen also same criticism, but like the 10 dance aspect, what do you mean you make this entire show about this competitive thing called 10 dance and then they don't do the 10 dance? They do dance 10 dances at the end, but they don't do the 10 dance thing. Yeah, overall, I just feel like they needed to interact a little bit more. Like we felt all this like intense chemistry, but then nothing really came of it. It feels like there's supposed to be a season 2, and yeah, I think it's kind of a shame that it left feeling like that, but it was really well shot, really great chemistry. I feel like just acting is like such a big deal with shows, and like the acting in here was phenomenal. Their characters were really well done. I think we just needed more. I feel like this is why I'm not a huge fan of movies. They don't show me everything that I want to see. And so that is kind of my only criticism of the drama. Sorry, of the movie. I just wanted more. I want to know more. I want to see more. I feel like I need more. And with that, that is all the dramas I have been watching or watched within December and January. Please let me know what you are watching because I have no idea what people are watching these days. I know Love Between the Lines is already done, but anything else I should be keeping an eye out for or watching, please let me know. There's nothing that is too riveting at the moment for me, even though I like just picked up like a million K-dramas at this point. But yes, also let me know what I've missed in the past couple months because I don't feel like I've been watching a lot. So, and yeah, so with the new year, I also have some non-drama content coming out. And so if you're interested, yeah, check that out. Otherwise, I will see you in another month with a update, but I think I have some introduction. I have an intro to BL's video coming out, and I don't know what other drama videos that I have that are a little different coming out. But thank you so much. Happy New Year, guys. Hope this year is an eventful, exciting year for you because I hope it's going to be for me. And with that, I'll see you in the next one.